damn. I need to save some money. So I've been doing some vegetating lately. I've been sitting on the sofa. I've been generally having a bit of a bad time. I'm personally blaming some kind of new variant of COVID for this. Certainly the symptoms I've been having, a nasty cough and fatigue and things, kind of do tally with that. So anyway, as is often the case when doing this, I've hit upon a new genre of YouTube video that I've been quite enjoying. And so, despite knowing basically nothing about how to actually play Warhammer 40,000 and having never been to a tournament in my life, I've had a surprisingly fun time watching a bunch of videos about people going to tournaments. In particular, Paul is bad at stuff, and his videos on taking his slightly memey Centurion list to tournaments has kind of got me thinking, that actually looks like a lot of fun. I mean, think about it. So it's something that gets you out of the house, gets you some of that old human content, which I'm told is really, really good for the whole mental health thing. And so I thought, yeah, maybe I'd give that a try. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because on the one hand, at this point, I probably have enough orcs that I could just take some orcs to a tournament. I think I've got enough that it probably wouldn't be too terrible. Admittedly, I've got a list that is entirely built upon the rule of cool, which is to say, I got the boxes that I wanted and I got the things that I thought I liked, which is why there is
I mean, there may have been a few more armament factories and not quite as many elephants, but
quite a strong presence of Storm Boys, not to mention the huge pile of unbuilt Storm Boys that I still have. But I was thinking, well, if I were to do this, is there a way to do it that keeps things nice and simple? Because having lots and lots of models means you've got to think a lot, and I'm not great at that, especially for something I've not got any experience in. So what if I reduced my unit count a bit? So if you're a nerd like me and you really, really like spreadsheets where you trawl through an entire web store of a particular thing you're interested in and just log each item, its price, and certain key characteristics about it, and then sort them by this, you can do the kind of fun thing that I do, where I do this and then calculate the points per pound value by a country mile. The best points per pound ratio is a Stomper. Now a Stomper will set you back 600 points, which means that to make a 2,000 point army, you could just take 3 of these and then maybe have some Gretchen or something for, doing some screening. Maybe obviously one character, so you have a warlord. That would be great, right? Except, no, of course it's not that simple, because when I try to go into the Warhammer app to actually pull up this and, kind of check that that's a viable army, suddenly Stompers are either 600 points or 700 points, depending upon how many you're taking. And no, I can't find anywhere straightforward where it actually has this stuff written down. You just sort of need to infer it from the points that you get in when you put in different things. So this then means that it looks like it's 600 points for the first one, and then 700 points for subsequent ones. I don't know why. Does it seem to think that going all in on Stompers is somehow better than having one Stomper and some sensible units? Apparently so. So what this means is that 3 Stompers comes out to precisely 2,000 points, which is a problem, because then you don't have a warlord.
Fuck my life!
And the best I can come up with is this. 2 Stompers, a Morkanaut, or Gorkanaut, probably Morkanaut. There's a little bit of a point variance, but it doesn't really matter too much. And then there is just enough left over to include, well, frankly, a bunch of models that I already have assembled and painted. So 2 Death Dreads, 3 Killer Cans, and a Big Mech in Mega Armor who can then ride in the Morkanaut. And this is appealing for a couple of reasons. One, it means that The big Mechamegrama is the smallest miniature in the army. And actually, because he's going to be riding in a transport for most of the game, the smaller thing is going to be a killer can. It gives you this nice kind of spread where even like things that are normally considered to be quite big look quite small. And also, I have most of the models. The only things I would need to get would be 2 Stompas and a Morgonaut. There is a tournament coming up in Manchester, and the reason I'd be interested in Manchester one is because I live nearby, so this means that I could actually go to this tournament without having to also fork out a large amount for, you know, transport and accommodation. But that's at the end of August. At the time of recording, it is just about coming up to the end of July, and here's where we hit problem number 2. The Warhammer store is out of stock on the Stompas. So is Wherein Games, and Element Games will accept orders but says they're due for dispatch on the 10th of August, which is a couple of weeks away from me now. So assuming they were to be dispatched on the 10th and arrive on, say, the 11th or 12th, that would give me just barely 2 weeks to get 2 Stompas assembled, painted, tournament ready. This is a really, really bad idea. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do it, but it's definitely a bad idea. In the meantime, though, that does mean that before pulling the trigger on those Stompas, I could always pick up a Morgonaut and get that painted and assembled and ready, just in case. I think this could be the beginning of something quite fun. So stay tuned, and in the next video I will hopefully be recording me assembling and painting a Morgonaut, which... how hard can that be?
Your hand of holding Imperium's mighty weapons, not for wanking!